I think about our situation back in 2002 and 2003 where there were two options: chemo, which is, poison and it's awful, and radiation, which is just as bad. There was nothing. There were no clinical trials. There was very limited research being done because the funding just wasn't there at that point. And the awareness also perhaps wasn't there at that point. Clearly the treatment options didn't work. The scan came back showing that the tumor had not shrunk. In fact, it had actually increased in size. That was December of 2002, and in February of 2003, she passed away.
Bria's tumor was in her posterior fossa, and it affects all her basic functions. She can just stop breathing. Suddenly, she can just stop breathing, and I have to grab the oxygen and I have to resuscitate my own child. So it's just, in one hand, this beautiful child that wants to have play dates and have a lot of friends, but she needs to go everywhere with oxygen tanks and suction machine. So this is the struggle that we have.
When Bria was diagnosed the second time, I can't explain the calculation that a family has to go through when we pass those numbers about what are her chances. One of the calculations you go through is if you could buy some years until some sort of cure or research would be a salvation for her.
Surgery is not that simple. It's a brain surgery, and every time he goes in, something else can be damaged. Bria is 6 years old, and this is the third time that she's learning how to walk. In fact, on the day of the second surgery, she was running, and then she woke up and she couldn't walk.
There was some real psychic pain there that I'd never seen in her before.
She realized and she remembered that she walked, and it was very difficult for her to start all over again. She's going to therapy 6 times a week. She is so strong, so positive, and she's putting 150% every day to gain all these skills back.
Saddle.
Nice.
I don't know where she gets that strength from. She's a purely optimistic person.
It is very difficult life, but we are blessed and we are very lucky because there are a lot of parents that lost their kids. So in that sense, I feel that we are very blessed that we have Bria. She is the one that helps me to wake up every morning and do the same thing over and over and over again.
Tell me, Bria, what is your purpose in life?
My purpose is to help people.
We found out after Brantley's MRI that there was in fact a tumor and that it was DIPG. And that is a day that I'll never forget. It was the worst day of my life. Being parents, not knowing anything about it, we asked, what the prognosis was. When she came back and told us 2 years, we never expected to have a 5-year-old that had brain cancer. And I have tried to hold it together for Brantley and Lucy, because at some point there's a possibility that she won't have him anymore. The day Brantley was diagnosed with DIPG, we also found out about a clinical trial that was seed funded by Ian's Friends Foundation.
We're very excited about this new study. It's the first ever in pediatric study, and it's a study using a drug called abemaciclib. The FDA has allowed us to conduct the first ever study in children and young adults in specific tumor types, and one of those tumor types is DIPG. So this is a very important study. It gives new hope to families. It gives new access to drugs.
When they came to us with this clinical trial, we knew immediately that we were going to put him on it. Anything we could do to help save his life or even just prolong it. Brantley has scans every 6 weeks. With the first scan after radiation, we had found out that the tumor was 3 times smaller than it originally was. And with our most recent scan, we found out that the tumor is in fact still shrinking 7 months after diagnosis.
We have hope that this is the answer. Brantley just I think is just 100 times better.
With the help of the study pill, Brantley is able to live his life like a little boy, and our family is able to make so many memories without the complications of what you would think of when you're told that your child will be on chemo.
The FDA is coming around. I think they're realizing that these families need options.
The IFF biorepository is certainly accelerating the pace at which we're finding new mechanisms and new drugs to cure childhood brain tumors. In the standard way of developing drugs, the timeline has been essentially 10 years from bench to bedside. So we can do a much faster, high throughput screening of drugs, which allows us to cut that timetable down dramatically.
When we heard about the monorail, it was exciting. It had great potential. We think that there's been enough pre-trial work that's been done that shows that it could be effective. It'll be a blessing.
Thanks to the generosity of donors and thanks to the scale of the support, we're able to move this project such that we might be able to get to humans by next year. So I'm deeply appreciative of both IFF support and the Marcus Foundation support, without which this just wouldn't happen at all.
I just recommend everybody out there, give as much as you can. This is a program that has great value. I think will demonstrate in the near future that many of the research projects work, and I think that there's nothing better that you can invest your money in.
I want to give because I want to see cures. The word cancer and children should never be in the same sentence.
The only way we're making progress in this disease is with funding and research and awareness. And the more awareness we have and the better funding we have, the better options we're able to offer our little patients.
If it weren't for Ian's Friends Foundation, we wouldn't be where we are today. Brantley would not have the life he has today. And truthfully, we don't know where we would be.
I think about all the way in 2003, what our situation was, and I think about now in 2016, what other people's situations could be, and I'm filled with hope knowing that there are other options, and it's a beautiful thing. We're so lucky.